Welcome back to Little Malayan. Okay, so the next question is like, what do you dislike about Japan? Janet?
If you're talking about 20 over years ago, yes, I would think that especially for the Japanese men, the older Japanese men, when they walk and they bump into you, they don't say sorry. Yeah, and that's something that when you bump into people, you just naturally say sorry, but they don't. They just walk past. However, as years goes, that is not happening anymore, and even in the last 5 years, no, none of that.
Okay.
So if you ask me what, I would say none at all. Nothing that I dislike. Yes.
Okay. Then what about Pat?
Yeah, again, right? It's very difficult to not like Japan, right? It's very difficult, right? The whole experience, of the place itself, right? That's why the whole world wants to go to Japan. If you ask 10 people, 9 people say, I want to go to Japan, right? Okay, so there's if you ask me, there's nothing I basically dislike from myself, but if there's something that I feel that it is probably a change or not very it's something that as kind of people are a little bit how do you call it, ambivalent about it, because the tourism is good for Japan, right? Okay, at the same time it's probably not that good as well because of the over tourism, right? Some places are just so overcrowded, that you can hardly walk, right? Okay, we were there just at the end of the Golden Week this year, okay, and in Kyoto, right? And I saw this video of Kyoto on the, I think it's the Ninenzaka, right? the Kiyomizu Temple.
Oh, yes.
But you cannot walk at all, right? And restaurants are crowded, everywhere is crowded, and it's difficult to enjoy the Japan that the promise of Japan can bring about, right? I mean, Japan is also about, besides the scenery, it's also about the calm, the serenity of the environment, So that is the part that I do not exactly like. Yeah? But of course, I mean, it's a place that everybody wants to go to. Yeah. So the over tourism is something that I dislike. I think the behaviors, right, of a lot of tourists, okay, that they bring, to Japan, it makes them not just, fellow travelers, it takes away the full enjoyment. It makes locals uncomfortable as well, right? Okay, how you are being very disrespectful to the environment, to the beauty of the what that place brings about, right? And so it's that part that we don't like, okay, and hear about how the locals have to put up this barrier, right, to block the view of Mount Fuji, right, in Kawaguchiko, because those tourists were just so inconsiderate, right, in crossing the road, taking the best photos of themselves, okay, but ignoring other safety, the safety of the locals, so that is something that is not very enjoyable at this moment, right? And so I do hope that of course, how do you deal with it? Well, you probably have to hope that over time people would have more people have seen Japan, and Japan kind of calmed down back to normal, but I don't know whether that will happen. But again, hopefully over time there'll be more people who understand that Japan is for everybody to enjoy, and you need to, not just because of your own selfie, right? Okay, your own photo, and then you start to, do things that, take away the enjoyment for others, and then you are disrespectful of the locals and their love for their place as well.
Okay, so the final question is like so far, is there an experience that stays in your mind?
I think again, this is not, well, it would be a bit personal as well. So I remember the March 11th earthquake, right? And then the subsequent tsunami,
Mm.
right? So I remember at that time I was in Shanghai, and I was kind of like waiting in the room, nothing to do, so the TV was on, right? And at that point I actually saw, the whole tsunami, right? The devastation of the airport, the place, right? It was really tragic, So, and also because what is close is also because our Tokyo team, right, was, is there as well. They were also impacted, right? So there is an immediate connection, and a lot of our Tokyo team members, they're also our friends, people whom we care about as well, right? So that naturally, was something that, it stuck in my mind because you watch it live, on TV, right? Even though it's very far away, you watch it live, and I was on the phone with my the leader over in Japan, right? How's everything, and how are we trying our best, right, to help and support people, and and I still remember, right, how people took a day to walk home because there was no train, no service, right? I mean, can you imagine walking one day home, right? And so that was something that I remember because it's, we were kind of it was close. I didn't personally experience, but I have friends, and team members who experienced it, and then
your
also
team members were in
Tokyo in the office when it happened.
Okay.
Yeah. So and that's how I know that they had to take 1 hour, to walk home. Not 1 hour, like 1 day to walk home because there just wasn't any train service, right? No bus service, nothing, And it was like an event in probably decades that people experience, right? But also the aftermath of it, the shortage of food, right? How rice, even something like rice, it's difficult to find, right? And how we organized, right? Okay, that time my company, all right, across all our different teams around the world, we know about the difficulty that our teams were having. So we organized for food supplies, to send in to our office, our team members, so that we can distribute and then they can take home as well, yeah. And then after that, within, at the time, when this happened, Fukushima, nuclear, nobody dared to go to Japan.
Yes.
Everybody was getting, the foreigners were getting out of Japan, and right, it's just, I don't know, maybe it's probably very human nature as well, but you don't just abandon the place that you live, you don't abandon your friends, right? Okay, and so at that time, I think within 1 month, right, in April, that month, I decided I need to go and see my people. I need to go and give them the support, right? At a time where people are leaving, abandoning, right? Okay, you need to be there to show that you're there with them, And when I visited that place, wow. Okay, it was shocking. Actually, we went, yeah. Okay, she went, so it was shocking, right? Lights were turned off, services were very limited. It's almost like a Japan that you never know that could happen at that time. So there was quite a bit of shock, right? But the other thing also is, you watch on TV, on news, right? Okay, how the community spirit, how it comes together. Right, and there was food shortages, how people had to queue for food, and how people are queuing orderly and respectfully waiting for their turn. Something you would never see, all right, in any other place, right? People would be like fighting to get to the head of the queue, right? Okay, all right, and quarreling and fighting, right? But here, you have a society that queues, right, and waiting for their turn, and very respectful, And that stuck in the memory, all right. That is that whole community spirit, right? For others as well as for yourself. It's not just for yourself. Yeah. So that is quite something that stuck in my mind, and of course overall is the resilience of the people, right? Yes. It's a land that that has natural, that's that's very open to natural disasters, right? But yet time and again over history, right, the people has pick themselves up after all the devastation, the disasters that's happening, and still able to rebuild, right? Okay, and be smarter about it. So that's something that I think is very admirable, the whole spirit, yeah. So yeah.
So that's the experience.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. So thank you very much for your time today.
Thank you. Our pleasure.
Thank you.
Yes. Okay, so see you. Bye-bye.